Merhaba sevgili izleyiciler. Keşifler Atlası bu kez dünyanın öbür ucuna, uzaktaki kıta Avustralya'ya gidiyor. Avustralya deyince aklınıza bildik görüntüler gelmesin. Atlas ekibi herkesin gittiği yoldan gitmedi. Turistlerin ve diğer belgeselcilerin bilmediği adreslere ulaştı. Ekibimizin duraklarından biri güneydeki Kanguru Adası'ydı. Bu adaya özgü kangurular, dev pelikanlar insanlarla birlikte iç içe yaşıyor. Kıtanın kuzeyindeki Kimberley, baobab ağaçları, meteor kraterleri ve timsahlarıyla ünlü. Ekibimize yardımcı olan timsah adam Malcolm ise ünlü bir timsah çiftliği sahibi. Çiftliğin turistlere yasak bölümlerinin kapılarını ilk kez bize açtı. Biraz sonra başlayacak olan yolculuğumuzda sizlere iyi seyirler diliyorum.
Avustralya'nın Kimberley bölgesi, doğadaki son sığınaklardan biri. Topu topu 20.000 kişiden oluşan nüfus, Türkiye'nin yaklaşık yarısı kadar bir alanda 2-3 yerleşim bölgesine toplanmış olarak yaşıyor. Sydney'den Kimberley'e ulaşmak için yaklaşık 4.000 kilometre kat etmemiz gerekti. Bölgede muson mevsiminde yollar 15 dakika gibi kısa bir sürede geçilmez hale geliyor. Biz de yalnız Kimberley'in sakladığı doğa parçalarını görmek için kuru mevsimi seçtik. Sydney'den bu yana karınca yuvaları görmeye alıştık ama Kimberley'deki yuvaların boyutları bizi şaşırttı.
Karıncalar, karıncalar her yerlerde yamarar. Karıncalar, orada mısınız? Avustralyalı karıncalar çok çalışkan. Bırakın saz çalmayı, Ağustos böceği gibi gece gündüz çalışıyorlar. Şu yaptıklarına bakın.
Kimberley'in en büyük kasabası Broome, bir zamanlar dünyanın inci merkeziymiş. Ancak kasabada geçmişin izlerine rastlamak zor. Broome'un yapay havasından kaçmak isterseniz kendinizi yakındaki plajlara atabilirsiniz. Ama Broome, Kimberley'in en ilginç yerlerinden birini de kendisinde barındırıyor. Malcolm Douglas Timsah Çiftliği. Malcolm Douglas, ülkenin ünlü televizyon kişiliklerinden biri. Avustralya'nın, özellikle de Kimberley'in uzak köşelerinden belgeseller hazırlıyor. Timsahlarını ne kadar iyi tanıdığını ve onlara ne kadar saygı duyduğunu sürekli gözlemlediğimiz timsah adam Malcolm, Türkiye'den geldiğimizi öğrenince bize birkaç gününü ayırdı ve çiftlikte turistlerin görmediği bölümlerde neler olup bittiğini gösterdi.
Here in Broome in northwest Australia, we have this crocodile farm. At times, crocodiles are very dangerous. They attack boats, kill dogs, and occasionally they take children or even humans. If a crocodile attacks a boat, the government issue me with a permit and I have to go out and I trap these crocodiles because they're called rogue crocodiles or problem crocodiles, and that is very dangerous. We bring them in here, we keep them in these pens for a year or two. Once they become adjusted to being in captivity, we introduce a female after the first year when they mate, they live together for 50, 60 years. You can see these two here. It is now the winter time. They're very quiet. They're just sitting in the afternoon sun. But later on, they become very aggressive, and during our hot month, they will make a nest. Just behind me in the next pen is a nest that was made from last year, and I'll show you that now. This is a typical crocodile nest. They scratch up all the dirt during the wet season months. They deposit around about 40 eggs in the nest, and the heat of the sun incubates the eggs. There's a crocodile egg there, about the size of a duck egg. We have to come in here, we fight the females off, we take the eggs out of the nest, and we place them in an incubator. We keep them in the incubator for 82 days at 32 degrees Celsius. At 32 degrees Celsius we get a male crocodile. If we change the incubator by 1 degree to 31 or 33, we get females. So 1 degree change in the temperature of the nest or our incubator controls the sex of the crocodile. Once they hatch out, we move them into the hatchery shed. We keep the baby crocodiles in here where it's lovely and warm. I lift the lid and I will show you a lot of baby crocodiles about 5 weeks old. Here we are. Now we just have to get in here. Here they are. Hello. He's 18 months old and he's just getting strong enough to bite. It's a beautiful, stop it, beautiful specimen of a crocodile. There we are. Come on. Very strong animal. Stop it. Stop it. Stop. There we are now. He cannot move. When a crocodile goes under the water, his eye stays open because he has a third eyelid. That little eyelid there, he lets it open. There it is there now. And then he has the normal eyelids, see, so he can close down like anyone else. We feed them a special diet of meat, red meat and white meat, chicken meat, and we put all the chemicals and vitamins in and keeps them very quiet, because if they start biting each other, the skin will be no good. We raise about 1,200 crocodiles per year. When these crocodiles are 3 years old or about 2 metres long, they are slaughtered and the meat is exported all over the world. It is a white meat. All the restaurants love it because it has no cholesterol in it and it presents very well on the plate. We have just sent 10 tonne of meat in the last 2 weeks to Taiwan for the wedding receptions. And what is interesting, we are a licensed crocodile farm, so every skin that is sold from the farm here has a tag on it. It makes it legal. And what is exciting for me, in about 10 years, hopefully we'll be able to stop the illegal trade in crocodile skins. By raising these crocodiles, I have more crocodiles on my farm here than the whole of the Kimberleys of Western Australia. I have over 4,500 crocodiles on one farm here now, and in the wild in the whole of Western Australia there are only about 3,000 crocodiles. If I take a mature crocodile out of the wild for breeding, I have to pay a certain amount of money, and that money is used for research and monitoring the numbers of crocodiles in the wild. So by taking crocodiles from the wild, breeding them, we build their numbers up, and at any time the government can come along and take around about 10% of what crocodiles I hatch out to replace them back into the wild. This crocodile in this pen is one of the biggest crocodiles in captivity. He's over 5 metres long, and he took a horse. He came out of the water, he went up into the stockyards, and he killed the horse, and he dragged it all the way back into the water. Because it's a winter time and he's very quiet, he may not come out of the water, but we'll see. He's usually just sitting here on the edge of the water. Come on. Okay, well, I hope Craig's not bringing all his tour up here in 5 minutes. I'll be in trouble. I have to stop now because those crocodiles are very powerful, and if you're not careful, they'll pull your shoulder joints right out of their sockets and your arms get very, very sore. This is one of the most dangerous crocodiles on the farm. He was attacking boats in Darwin Harbour. We have to have 3 fences because during the hot times he's very aggressive. He attacks the fence, he won't let anyone near his territory. What is interesting, I could open the gates on all these crocodiles now, they would never leave their pens. If I took this crocodile out of this pen and put him on a boat and took him 100 nautical miles up the coast, within 2 or 3 months he would swim all the way down, come across the road and be walking our boundary fence trying to get back into his house here, into his home, into his territory. That's why we have all the crocodiles paired up. If we put 2 male crocodiles together, one of them would be dead by the morning because they're fighting over the territory. Because they are reptiles, this time of the year they just lie around and absorb the heat. In the hot times they stay in the water and keep cool. They get fed once a week. Some of these crocodiles don't eat for 3 months, and of course they only need a lady friend once a year.
Avustralya'da 2 tür timsah var. Diğerine oranla daha küçük yapılı, saldırgan olmayan tatlı su türüyle iri yapılı ve saldırgan olan tuzlu su timsahı. Çiftlikte kaldığımız günlerin birinde dişi bir tuzlu su timsahının çiftliğin kent dışındaki ziyarete kapalı bölümüne taşınmasına tanık oluyoruz. Bu iş için çiftliğin ziyarete henüz kapalı olduğu sabahın erken saatleri seçiliyor.
This is one of the oldest and largest females we have. I caught her in the bush in 1984, around about 15 years ago. She was in this pen and her partner died last year, so we're taking her from this pen out to our new farm to put her with a new male we've caught. She's exceptionally large for a saltwater crocodile. She lays around about 50 eggs every year. Unfortunately, last year she didn't have a partner, so the eggs weren't fertile. Surprisingly, with crocodiles, you can hold their jaws closed just with some tape like that. You notice we've just put this electrical tape on. When they open their jaws, they can lift it up very quickly, but there's no power. All the power in the jaw is when they go down. So I could actually hold that there like that, and she cannot open her jaws. So that's all we have to do to put her in the car now and take her out to the other farm. Calm down, calm down. Bundy, get out of it. We're going to walk her in off the grass? Just pick her up, I think, eh? Yeah. Bundy. Right, don't move off. Move out, mate, you're in the camera way. Move. Yeah, righto. Right, this is the last one coming off, and now she's free. Go on. that's how we like to release a crocodile. See, no trouble. Still got my 10 fingers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 5 is 10. So we're very happy. Crocodiles love attacking wild dogs and domesticated pet dogs. So when I'm out in the bush, I always have my favourite dog with me, because if a crocodile's going to attack me, it'll always attack my dog first. And as much as I love my dog, I'd rather the crocodile took the dog than took me. Here. Come on. These are the best skins in the world because you have a very fine pattern here. So these skins sell at around about $10 a centimetre US. What we have to do now is we have to salt it carefully and pack it away, and then it'll go across to the buyers in France. We leave it for 3 days and then we resalt it. There we are. Now, the skins that we re-tan for ourselves, we get tanned in Singapore, and you're going to see the best skin in the world, and I'm not exaggerating. These are absolutely beautiful. They're breathtaking. The French buy these, and they make, out of this, they need 2 skins to make a handbag for the ladies of Europe, and they sell for $8,000 US for one small handbag. Here we are. Have a look at that. That is the best skin in the world.
Avustralya topraklarını kuzeyden güneye geçtiğimizde doğanın, özellikle de yöreye özgü hayvanların yalnız bırakıldığı bir başka yerle karşılaşıyoruz. Kanguru Adası. Kıyıya yakınlığına karşın nüfusun azlığından su üzerine yol yapılmamış olması adanın şansı olmuş. Adaya ulaşımda uçak dışındaki tek seçenek kısa süreli ancak pahalı bir feribot seferi. Kanguru Adası sakinleri doğayla iç içe yaşıyorlar. Örneğin en büyük kasaba Kingscote'un elektrik direklerinin daimi konuklarını adalılar artık kanıksamışlar. Pelikanlar Kingscote iskelesinin yakınındaki bir noktada sabah saatlerinde toplanmaya başlıyorlar. Yakınlarından geçen tek tük insana ya da otomobillere dönüp bakmadan kararlı bir şekilde bekliyorlar. Sanki bir bildikleri var. Derken öğleyi biraz geçe pelikan adam John görünüyor. Yanında onu seyretmeye gelen turistler de var. Pelikanların ısrarlı bekleyişlerinin nedeni anlaşılıyor. John her gün aynı saatte onlara kova kova balık getiriyor.
The birds that we have here are the largest of the pelican species found in the world, and that's the Australian pelican. As you probably noticed, they're extremely good flyers. They can in fact get to a height of 10,000 feet, which is a hell of a long way up. And the odd one will even make it from Australia to New Zealand, which is a flight of about 1,500 miles. Their normal range extends from southern Indonesia down to northern Tasmania. Now you can see these birds are pretty well saturated, whereas the seagulls are still bone dry because they've got that extra oil and grease in their feathers. And if you look at these birds, you can see they're shivering with the cold. I'll begin by trying to feed some seagulls. If they're hungry, they'll take the fish from my hand. The pelicans will regard that as a complete waste, and we may see some aerial combat. If you're really lucky, the combat will take place over your head and you may get bombed. Now when pelicans eat their food, they don't chew it at all, they simply swallow everything whole. You just have to accept they can swallow a fair bit in one hit. Now, when the birds swim about in the water, they try and keep their wings up like this in order to keep them dry. And when they basically turn in unison because they're used to working as a team. Now, take some fish out into deeper water, and what you'll see is pretty well identical to what you'd see if you're watching the fish in the wild.
Batı kültürlerinin büyük ilgi ve nostalji kaynağı deniz fenerleri Kanguru Adası'nda da ilgi görüyor. Bunların en ünlüsü Borda Burnu'ndaki fener. 1858'de kare formunda inşa edilmiş bu fener yalnız rehberli gruplarla gezilebiliyor. Adanın ulu okaliptus ağaçları görenlerin bakmaya doyamadığı sevimli koalaları barındırıyor. Dokunmamak için kendinizi zor tuttuğunuz koalalar, ana kıtada yok olmalarından korkulup adaya sonradan getirilmiş bir tür. Uyanık oldukları birkaç saati okaliptüs yaprakları yiyerek geçiriyor koalalar. Yapraklardaki nem su gereksinimini karşılamaya yetiyor. Gözleri hep bir nebze uykulu çünkü günde ortalama 19 saat uyuyorlar. Adanın güneyindeki bir körfez, türü tehlikede olan Avustralya deniz aslanları tarafından yuva olarak seçilmiş. Sıkı denetimlerle hayvanların turizmin kötü etkilerinden korunmaları sağlanmış. Körfezde 1 kilometrelik bir şerit boyunca yüzmek ve balık tutmak yasaklanmış. Tıpkı adanın öteki türleri gibi onlar da gün boyunca balık yiyip yüzerek, kah uyuyup kah oyun oynayarak mutlu bir şekilde yaşıyorlar. Yeni Zelanda kürklü fokları da adadaki özel türlerden biri. Kendilerine yaşama alanı olarak doğal korumalı Quadic burnunun kayalıklarını seçmişler. Kanguru Adası'na adını veren kangurular adada endemik bir tür. ana kıtada rastlanan türlere göre daha küçük ve daha koyu renkli. Özellikle Flinders Chase Milli Parkı'ndakiler insanlara fazlasıyla alışkın. Bu kanguru vahşi ve bu yüzden de dokunulmaktan bir hayli rahatsız aslında ama yiyecek beklentisi onu uysallaştırıyor. Kanguru Adası, 1/3'ü koruma altında olan, dünyada birçok ülkeye örnek olabilecek bir coğrafya. Öyle görünüyor ki, kanguruların, pelikanların, koala ve fokların daha uzun bir zaman bütün günlerini uyku ve oyun alacak.